RealTALK with Odun. I'm so excited to be coming your way once again today. My name still remains Odun Akirele, and like I said, I'm so happy to be coming your way today because we are all here, we are ill, we are healthy, we are all doing good. So that is exciting on its own, and I want you all to be excited for today's show. So on today's show, the topic we will be talking about is childbirth and what it does to a woman. You know, over the years, we've had a lot of stories. In fact, I saw one last week that made me cringe. The guy said, imagine my wife gave birth 1 month ago and she still can't cook for me. Like, what's the big deal in childbirth?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you know, and I was like, what? He actually went forward to say, and she can't even let me touch her. I can't touch her. It's been 1 month, for Christ's sake. And to me, I was like, you don't even know what this woman is going through. It's just 1 month. 1 month is actually just 4 weeks anyway. So today, that is what we'll be talking about. And I have a friend with me. I have a sister with me. They are my friends. They are my sisters. They're actually practitioners in the medical field. And so they are going to give us their own opinion. They are going to give us a medical opinion. And the other person is going to give us a biblical opinion. I'm not going to put that to Tom. Tom is going to be professional. He's going to be professional. So the first guest with me today, my studio guest, is Tommy Favored. Tommy Favored is well known all over Houston. Tommy Favored is a singer, she's a songwriter, a musician, and growing producer that has released 6 albums, right, as far back as 2014 till date. She continuously releases music and she's passionate about Jesus Christ. She encourages others to utilize their gifts and talents uncompromisingly for the kingdom of God. She's happily married to dynamic saxophonist and my own brother, my paddy, Sheyi Alesh. She's also a grateful mother of 2 very vibrant toddlers. Like, I'm not going to give you their names, you don't need their names. And she's a public speaker. And lastly, she's a licensed vocational nurse who works full-time when she's not traveling for ministry. Welcome to the show, Tommy.
Thank you so much.
We are so excited to have you today.
Thank you for having me.
Please don't call me sister.
Sorry, she's my big sister. She's my big sister, and I love her so much, and I respect her so much. So that's why I do that. So just in case if that slips out, that's why. But this is Real Talk with Odun. So this is fresh Odun. But if it slips out, that's why.
All right, no problem.
I just love her so much, y'all. 143.
Thank you so much for coming on the show. All right, my virtual guest, like you know, we do on the show, is to bring a virtual guest, and that virtual guest's name is Tom. Her name is Adetun Olajori. She's a pharmacist of over 16 years. She graduated as a pharmacist from the University of Lagos and has an MBA from the Chicago Institute of Business. She has experience with Spans Hospital. She has worked in the retail and marketing department. She has worked as a sales pharmacist in Nigeria. And then she did her internship at the Lagos University Teaching Hospital, Idiaraba, and then worked with Julie Pharmacy. She did her national youth service at Police College Clinic and immediately started work at Pfizer Global Pharmaceuticals in 2004 before moving to, this one is a German name, but I'll try to pronounce it. Okay. Before moving to Boehringer Ingelheim Pharmaceuticals. Did I get that?
Yeah. Yes, you did.
All right. She's currently the business associate West Africa of ACG Capsules. She's married to my own Egbon, and his name is Akitunde Olajori. And they are blessed with 3 sons. In fact, so our last born is my boyfriend, my Tim. He's the disturber of my peace. Welcome to the show, Tom.
Pleasure. It's a pleasure.
Thank you for doing this with us. Okay, straight to the topic of the day.
For having me.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for coming. Straight to the topic of the day, I'm going to address this to Tommy first.
Yes, ma'am.
From a biblical point of view, what is childbirth?
Well, childbirth is basically the physical delivery of a child and giving birth to another human being. And so that's the birthing of a child. You know, there are other things like child rearing, which involves you not necessarily being the physical person who gave birth to the child, but you're the one raising the child or supporting the growth of the child. But childbirth itself is actually you physically bringing a life into the world. Yes.
Okay. Tom, same goes to you. What is childbirth?
Yes, just like Sister Tommy said, basically childbirth is procreation, bringing another human being into the world.
All right, thank you so much. And please,
yeah.
Go on.
Okay, yeah, and I just wanted to mention that, of course, with childbirth, you have, especially in Nigeria, you know that question of, oh, she had a baby, was it a normal delivery? And I'm like, she had a baby. Do you get it? She had a baby.
Yeah, that's actually going to be my next question. That like the fact that you have a CS does that mean it's different from someone that has a normal delivery, like a conventional delivery?
Yes, it doesn't make you less of a woman. So it's vaginal or a cesarean section. But the most important thing is you've got a baby.
Yes, absolutely.
Because I know there are some people back home in Nigeria that they will be like, once you give birth through CS, then you are not a complete woman. As if that takes out of your womanhood.
No.
And in your own opinion, is that the right perspective?
That is a very wrong perspective. That is myopic. That is ignorant, and that is culturally backward, if I can put it that way. And I don't mean to be rude, but I do need to say it in no unclear terms that is negative. You do not consider a woman less than a woman because she delivers or has childbirth through the process of a cesarean section as opposed to a vaginal delivery. That's just a cultural myopia that needs to be dispelled in 2020. Thank you very much.
She said it needs to be dispelled in 2020. So don't take it with you to 2021. Yeah.
She's absolutely correct.
Okay, now I'm going to address a question to you, Tom. What happens to a woman's body at childbirth?
Okay, a myriad of things. First, your hormones are changing. Do you get it? Yes, and during pregnancy proper, you experience an increase in your breast size, your cup size increases. But don't get too excited. After childbirth, that changes as well. So yes, and you also have, it's also interesting, depending on the woman, the different changes. Some people experience a sprout in their hair growth. They also experience finer nails. Their nails become finer. All these are during pregnancy. But post-childbirth, once you have that baby, every other thing changes. I remember I told you that, yes, you have a fuller cup size, your breasts are bigger. Okay, but don't forget, as it becomes bigger, as you start breastfeeding, if you're going to breastfeed, then at times your breast actually even shrinks. So yes, a lot of women experience that. Then of course there's the belly bulge. After having, your body entirely changes. After childbirth, you have the bulge in your stomach. Although yeah, there's some women that are very lucky, absolutely lucky, but not everybody can be like that. That's the truth.
True.
No, not every single person. Then you also have an increased risk of incontinence. You find out that you cannot hold your wee the way you used to post childbirth. So those are some of the things that you experience as a woman. Your body is changing entirely. There's a lot of changes going on, basically because of your hormones. And let's not forget, you just birthed a child.
A life.
You or your husband. Exactly, just came through. So Also, down there in your vagina, things are also not going to be the same. Let's not deceive ourselves, especially if it's a vaginal birth as well.
Yeah.
Okay? So, well, some women get lucky as well. At times, I call it luck. Sorry, pardon me. Because at times they have tears, then they get sewn up,
Yeah.
and they actually become tighter after that.
Yeah.
They become tighter, yes, after that. But for some women, it's not like that. So there are a million and one changes that happen. Depending on whether it's vaginal or
Oh,
CS.
yes.
Yeah.
Either way, there are changes going on. CS or vagina, there are changes going on in the body.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much for that. So Tommy, I'm still going to address the same questions to you.
Yeah.
Like, while doing the research for this topic, I stumbled on something that said the muscles at the top of your uterus press down on the baby's bottom, and then the baby's head then presses on your cervix. Now that itself is painful, just like, especially from someone that used to have painful menstrual cycle.
Yeah.
Because once there is like a load on your cervix,
Yeah.
you're in pain.
Yes.
Can you expatiate on that?
Well,
for me?
I can speak on my personal experience when I was pregnant with my kids. I know obviously that the closer I got to the third trimester into the delivery time, obviously the baby is bigger. Obviously, the closer you're getting to delivery, depending on obviously the baby's position, their head, hopefully it's always the head that goes first when they get into position for delivery, is what's pressing down on the cervix. If they're not breech position is usually, for the ignorant people who think C-sections are some kind of devastating negative for women, that's usually one of the most popular reasons why a woman would have to do a C-section, is because the baby is not in the natural position, which is the head first. If the baby is feet first or butt first or something else, that's called a breech position. So under normal circumstances where a vaginal delivery is most probable, the baby's head goes first, but this involves the baby pushing down on the cervical region. And one of the changes that happen during pregnancy is obviously your pelvic region, actually the pelvic bones and the muscles in that area have to kind of shift a little bit and widen and open up some. The pubic symphysis, it relaxes a little bit more so that the baby's head can actually come through that vaginal canal. And so it's definitely not comfortable. You see women and they start waddling.
Yeah.
They call it the duck waddle, closer to delivery, because it's painful. The muscles there are sore. Everything is getting ready for the baby to actually come out. So yeah, it's definitely not comfortable.
Wow, I really appreciate the fact that we are getting graphic, because I think and I hope men get to watch this episode. So maybe that will actually give them an idea of what a woman go through to birth their child. To birth a child that will come and bear your name. So all this misconception of it's been 4 weeks, it's been 3 weeks, you should get over it, our mother did it, our grandmother did it. It just needs to, at least, empathy. Empathy. So now I'm going to move on to the next one, because I actually have like 2 sessions for this episode. The first one is the during childbirth, which is what I think we just talked about. Now, in your own opinion, how does this affect a woman's mood?
And this is for me, right?
Yes.
Okay. From experience, well, let's talk chemically and endocrinology wise. You have so many hormones that are changing. Now you have to understand, a baby is not just this foreign material. Of course, the closer you progress to delivery, you have an entire human being now with their own system. Yes, they're dependent on the mother's functions, but they're also developing their own circulatory system, their own hormones, and it's affecting mom's hormones. So mom's hormones are changing. She's getting a flow of this, and then even cardiovascularly, the cardiovascular system, I should say rather, during pregnancy, this mom's body has to support another body, and so your cardiovascular system, aka blood vessels, arteries, veins, those things have to enlarge. You get more blood cells because more red blood cells because they have to accommodate having more oxygen in the body. You know, sometimes moms walk a little bit and they're tired, they're out of breath. Other than the baby actually pushing on the lungs, the diaphragm, they have decreased cardiac output if they're not careful. So the body has to compensate by increasing how much fluids is going through their body, how much oxygen, how much CO2 is going out. So there's a lot going on in the mother's system. And then you have hormones. So those hormone levels can change.
And they have.
Mothers will, during pregnancy, I remember I saw a commercial and I just started crying. I'm like, what's going on? It's not even that serious, but it's just emotions, hormones, chemicals, everything is changing. And then the physical changes. I talked about being in pain. If you're in pain and you're able to do things all around the house, and then all of a sudden you're not able to do those things, it's frustrating. Your body is changing. You're tired. You're exhausted. People don't understand what you're going through. So there are a lot of emotions: anger, happiness, sadness, frustration, tiredness. You go through the whole gamut.
Wow. So let me address that question back to you. Thank you so much, Tony. Back to you too, from your own experience. Childbirth, pregnancy. How does that affect you? Have 3 boys, 3 grown boys. So what went through your body then when you were during childbirth?
Okay. Yeah. Thank you so very much, Odun. Thank you for that question. Now, I can so relate with what Sister Tommy said as well. For my first 2 sons, 14 and 12, I had a normal delivery. But for my 3rd son, I had to do a CS. In fact, actually, he was an emergency CS because he was breached. He had his legs down. He was past the ED, the expected date of delivery. He was already past. So the matron I was saying then said that, okay, maybe she would just set me up for an induction. And by the time I went to the hospital for the induction, thank God I was in the US, they checked out the vitals and all that, did a scan. And they realized that, okay, his legs were still down and maybe they could do a manual turn to actually bring him up. But as they were trying to turn him up, all the what do they call that, were on me. They were monitoring his cardiac signs and all that. And immediately they saw a sign that it looked like as though his heart rate was dropping.
Wow.
I went for an emergency CS.
Wow.
Yeah, I went for an emergency CS. Wow. So for me, I've been through all the works. Okay, with Erioluwa's own, my hair was beautiful. You know, my hair started growing. That was my first son. My hair was beautiful. My skin came out well. You know, I did not. In fact, I had no issues of MSs, of vomiting. I had no issues with that and all that. With my second son, I threw up a little bit. You know, my nails beautiful and all that. Yeah, with but you know, I usually don't vomit. But what I experience is worse. Because I bleed in pregnancy.
Oh, wow.
Which is worse off. You don't want to experience that as well, you know? Yeah. So I bleed in pregnancy. So after the first one, after my first son, the OBGYN realized that it looked like it was lower levels of progesterone. So I was placed on hormones as well. Yeah. So usually, immediately I'm detected to be pregnant. So a lot of things are happening. I mean, that's just my own personal experience. You get what I'm trying to say? With other women, there are 1,000,001 other side effects. You get what I'm saying? I've had friends that they say when they're pregnant, they are bedridden throughout the period of 9 months. You can imagine, they're in bed throughout. They cannot do anything. When they drink water, they throw up. So it differs from women to women. It differs from women to women. So it's something men really need to understand. And appreciate. And of course, your sex drive also changes. Do you get it? With some women, it's spot on. I've had a friend that said that, oh, she desired sex almost like,
Yeah, I have
1 day
friends.
after.
One of my colleagues at work now was like, when she was pregnant with her first child, the good thing was our house was so close to the office, she was practically going home for sex.
Wow.
Like, yeah, she said she would run home.
Yeah, everyone is different.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, then I've had another friend that told me that when she saw her husband's erect penis, she wanted to slap him. She was like, are you joking? This was like a month after. She was like, if you come near me, this was like a month after. Did you get it? So, you know, with women, it differs. You know, some women are ready to hit the road, 4 days after that. I've missed you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get it? But with some women, don't come near me. Do not come near me.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's so true. Yeah. Like, we are not trying to be vulgar or whatever. We are just trying to be explicit.
Yes.
So that the men folk can actually understand that it's not like, at times, it's not like they don't want to, it's just that their body is not responding at that point in time because of what they are going through, because of the hormones that is all over the place. At times, you can even touch them and they don't feel anything because their hormones is all over the place. And so then I'm going to go to after childbirth.
And I'm so sorry. I wanted to say something about the sex drive during pregnancy. And something a lot of men should be conscious of with their women, their spouses when they're pregnant, is when a woman is pregnant, positioning during sex positions is also very crucial. Because you'll see a lot of women, they'll say, no, don't lay down on your right side, lay down on this side during pregnancy. It also has to do with your organs are all shifting. The uterus is usually at the base of your torso, and so you have the uterus there, but then when the baby is growing, it's pressing down on the bladder and it's pushing up on your intestines, on other retroperitoneal organs, whatever is in there is just shifted because this baby is taking up so much space. So even breathing, so when you want to engage in sex, maybe you're used to having one sexual position, but for the duration of your pregnancy, for the wife, you have to switch it up, because if she's on one position, maybe the baby starts pressing down on a major blood vessel and she feels like she's gonna faint during sex. It's not because she's not strong. No, you have a baby compressing a blood vessel and stopping blood flow to your brain. That's an issue. If you have organs that are being squished, you have an issue there.
And pain already.
And then you have embarrassment. The woman might be embarrassed because during sex, she's being pressed, and then the baby is pressing on her uterus. It's like, I gotta pee. And she has to stop you in between and say, I have to go pee. That's embarrassing. That'll kill the libido very quickly. So those are so many things that we have to put into consideration. I just wanted to mention that.
Yeah, that's good. Thank you so much for that. And now I'm going to go to the next question. I'm going to direct that to you, Tom. Like, again, while researching, I found out that there are actually the possibility of bones being broken during childbirth. I wanted to expatiate on that because I found out that they said, hold on, let me go. Yeah, there are 35 cases of bone injuries in every 1,000 births. Wow. That's actually something we can all find out online. So I wanted to talk about that too.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much for that. Now, in terms of bone injury during childbirth, yes, it's not very common, but I would also say that it's also subject to where you're having your baby. Okay? It's also subject to the medical personnel that are available when you're having your baby. If I get your question right, you're talking about like bone breaking. Is it during childbirth proper? During childbirth,
yeah.
Yeah, during childbirth proper. Of course, you'd have that more popular during normal delivery versus CS. Because when it's a cesarean section anyway, you get a cut.
Yeah, and they
It
just
could
take out
either
the
be
baby.
horizontal or it could be vertical. Yeah, and the baby is brought out. So there is no risk of any bone getting distorted or getting broken. But when it's a vaginal delivery, as the head comes out, I'm sure we've all watched the videos of how really delicate it can be at that point, and how slowly the baby tries to come out, So it's something that it's subject to the medical personnel. Do you get it? At that point, that's why I remember even some of my friends will also say that usually when you're having your baby, you don't pray to have the OBGYN. Don't pray to need the OBGYN really proper. You understand? All you need is a seasoned midwife.
Yeah.
Who has been through it and has delivered a lot more babies. Yeah, so the midwife is well experienced. By the time you need an OBGYN, then there usually is a tendency that there is an issue.
Yeah.
Do you get it? So that is it. Do you get it? So when you have a seasoned and well experienced midwife, you wouldn't experience that.
All right, thank you so much. So I'm going to direct the same question to you, because I found out that they said the clavicle was the commonest bone fracture, and that happens to like 45.7% of women.
Wow, the clavicle.
The clavicle.
Now that's news to me.
Yeah.
Because
that's news.
I got this online, and then they said it's followed by the humerus, which is like 20% of women.
Wow.
Then the femur, 14.3%.
Wow.
And then the depressed skull fracture is 11.4%.
Would they mean in the babies or in the mothers?
In the mothers.
Wow. Okay. Now
mothers.
it would be news to me for the mothers. I would assume that may be related to some sort of vitamin or calcium deficiency, because that's another thing that we have to be conscious of. When women are pregnant, you see a lot of women's changing eating habits change. A lot of women's eating habits will change during pregnancy, sleep patterns, but I'm specifically mentioning the eating patterns because sometimes you'll have something called pica, which is the women start craving weird things. For me, during my, I think it was my first pregnancy with Isaac, I couldn't eat anything but oranges. I just had to eat oranges. And I remember going to the doctor and they say, part of it is a vitamin deficiency. Your baby is growing and they need to develop their bones. And if you're not intaking enough calcium and enough of those minerals in your diet, the baby is going to develop, so it's going to get it from you.
And you will lack.
And you will now be the one with the vitamin deficiency or that calcium deficiency. So I would assume, because I'm thinking clavicle, that's up here. I'm thinking humerus, that's up here. Femur, that's in your leg. So if a mother is undergoing bone breakages like that, I would assume during pregnancy, it's coming from a dietary deficiency of the appropriate vitamins and minerals, and so the baby is having to get it from their bones, and that's what's making their bones more susceptible to breakage. So that would be my hypothesis.
So eating right is actually a very key point.
It is a key point.
Eat right, eat balanced diet with the normal. Your OBGYN would have told you what you're supposed to take to make everything balanced out.
And pay attention to cravings. Because if you're craving something particular, it may not be that food necessarily, but the vitamins within that food that your body is trying to signal your brain that it needs. So your body knows what it needs, and sometimes it'll explain that to you through cravings.
Oh, wow. That's mind-blowing, because we just assume it's a normal thing for a pregnant woman to have cravings. Because I remember my sister's own was so weird that, oh my God, it was so embarrassing. She could ask anybody for food. Anybody. If she sees you on the road, if she sees you, it was so embarrassing. And then she usually goes to the camp. And then she will go to the camp with her friend. Her friend will make all sort of food to go, but then she won't eat that one. She will keep going from one place to another asking for food. It was so, oh my goodness. So now you're saying that it's maybe your body's crying out for something.
Yes.
For a particular thing. Wow.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Okay, Tom, let me come back to you. How does a woman's body change after birth? After giving birth, how does a woman's body change?
Okay. So now, in terms of thank you for that question, Odun. In terms of a woman body's changing, there are a million and one changes that happen. Now, there's a weight gain. Now, with which differs from women to women. Okay, with some women actually, very few, not very common, some actually experience a weight loss. But with quite a sizable number of women, statistically,
they gain weight.
more women experience exactly a weight gain, which actually even, it also affects the overall psyche of a woman.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you get it? I'm sure you've heard that joke of a wife asking the husband, "Oh, do you think I look big in this dress?" And the husband knows better not to say anything. He knows it's a setup. He probably goes, "Oh no, no, it's just not your size. You look perfect. It's not your size, So so there's a weight gain that cannot be denied. Okay. Like I said, I also mentioned the risk of incontinence, urinary incontinence.
Yeah.
You know how before you have a child, you can hold on if you want to take a leak, if you want to wee, but immediately after childbirth, if you are not careful, you start dropping. You start having drops. Drops of urine. Even before you rush into the toilet, which is why the name of that exercise just left. I think it's Kegel. There's a Kegel exercise that women are advised to do. When you're done. So you also have a lower sex drive. You can't also take that after childbirth. It's something women also do experience. And finally, the belly bulge.
And stretch marks,
Okay, so stretch marks. Thank you, Sister Tony. Stretch marks. I remember. I think it was my second baby. No, I think it was it my second baby or Ari? I can't remember. I think it was my second. Got this Palmer's stretch marks cream. I started using it. They made a lot of claims that start using it just as you get pregnant. There'll be the first time I saw stretch, I just threw it away. Because I was like, oh gosh. I mean, the stretch marks are here anyway. So thank you for mentioning that stretch marks. So there are a million and one things that could happen. That's the truth. But with some women, childbirth does good for them. I mean, imagine if you were a UK 6 before, you're very slim. After childbirth, become a UK 8 or 10. You have a little hips here and there.
Balanced. Balanced out somehow.
So that's it. So, you have some women that get lucky. But statistically, that's not very common.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Tom. So let's just go on a short break and we'll be back very soon. All right, welcome back, guys. And so far, we've been having an exciting and interesting time. We've been talking about an issue that is not just peculiar to women. It's an issue that is peculiar to them and then to the men folk as well. And we've had a lot of educative discussion about childbirth. My eyes has actually been opened to some facts about cravings that I did not know before. I just assume it's normal for every married woman, every pregnant woman to have cravings. I've actually been, been exposed to the fact that sex drive goes down after childbirth, and that's actually what we are going to talk about now. Because, like I said, I want the men to actually listen to this. So this complaint of it's 2 months, it's been 3 months, it's been 1 month, she's not letting me touch her. Maybe to an extent, it will help you understand what is going on. I've actually seen the post where there were a lot of comments that the women were saying, talk to her very well, maybe she's seeing someone else.
Oh gosh.
Like, so told me I'm going to address that to you, this sex drive thing, because I think we really need to talk about that. Because the misconception, especially back home in Africa, is mind-blowing. You read some post and you just feel like she just had a baby, for Christ's sake.
It's infuriating for me personally, and I don't like the ignorance that is expressed when people have no medical knowledge, or they just don't want to have knowledge, period. Even if you don't have medical knowledge, what happened to communicating? And that's the thing, when sex becomes this duty and not this expression of love. You know, let's take it back to the Bible. Okay, love is what, that's why the Bible confined sex within the confines of a marital relationship between a husband and a wife. And it's not so much to just restrict you from having fun, you know, and don't go fornicating and don't go adulterating just because God wants to create these laws, but confining sex within a marital relationship. When you have children within that relationship, you already have the precedent of a loving relationship. Okay, this relationship is one where you have to communicate, okay? And when you have sex, you don't just have sex because, oh, it's been 5 hours, 4 minutes, and 10 seconds. No. It's a matter of, how are you feeling? I love you. I would like to express myself to you sexually in this way. And it's not this thing that's timed. So you can have people who love each other and they may have sex every day. Or you may have people who love each other and they have sex every 2 weeks. It's an expression of love. So when it comes to women who've had children and their husbands are like, oh, it's been 1 month and she doesn't want to have sex. Well, clearly there's no communication in that relationship, because you have to be in a way where you talk about, how are you feeling? How is your body feeling? How are you feeling emotionally? Can I express love to you in this way? And then the other part of the ignorance is, sex is only now, I don't want to be vulgar here, but please, if you have children, take them out of the room. But let me express it this way. Sex or intimacy within marriage is not just penile vaginal penetration. Okay, it's not just the male penis entering into the vagina of the female. Okay, there are other ways in which you can express sexual intimacy without those two things, because that's what is called into question when a woman has a baby anatomically. For me, in my personal experience, you could have a woman who goes through an episiotomy, which is where the doctor has to cut a portion of her vagina to make it a larger opening for the baby's head to come out, because you have a baby with a large head circumference, and in order for it to come out of the vagina, they have to cut it. So it could be an episiotomy, which is the doctor cuts it, or it could be a tear or a rip, which happens where the baby is coming out and the force of the head coming out actually just tears it. So it takes a woman weeks to heal. So when you have a man who is trying to penetrate her in that same area, sexual intercourse that is rough can very well tear that area again. Or rip open the sutures that have been put in there from the episiotomy. So it's painful. It's not just the fact that these muscles in the vaginal area have to go back and be back to normal, which takes just weeks. Like that. Especially the women, like Sister Tone mentioned, have to be doing Kegel exercises in order to, you know, strengthen those muscles. But it takes time. And if then she has that cut, it has to heal over time. So in America here, thankfully, they tell women, please abstain from sex for at least 6 weeks. At least. And there are women from experience who will say even 6 months after they have their children, they're still having pain in that area. And so we have to get away from the cultural ignorance, from the chauvinistic ignorance, and communicate with our significant others to know, how are you feeling?
Exactly.
How is your body feel? Okay, so we can't have, you know, penile vaginal intercourse. Can we express love differently? And that's a whole nother conversation I'm not going to get into, but you guys have therapists you can talk to. There are other ways to be intimate other than just that one way.
Okay, I just want to go back to something about the vaginal birth and the CS birth. I feel I need to chip in something, because even if you have a procedure done, you're still not comfortable with yourself as a woman.
Yeah.
You can't let anybody touch you. Like, I'm not even talking about, I'm just talking about, I had a procedure done recently, and the thought of someone just trying to touch me is, like, I was in pain. I wasn't comfortable with myself. So the thoughts of you now coming to say, is actually making me feel, not to not talk of someone that's actually having vaginal pain.
Yeah, yeah.
As in, I just want people to just imagine you having a cut and someone is trying to punch a hole into it.
Yeah, and you know what? I have to say something else. Sorry to cut this in. I've talked a lot already, but I need to say this. C-sections are actually probably more dangerous than vaginal deliveries, because a C-section is considered major surgery. Okay, because essentially what happens is someone is taking a knife, a surgical knife, but they're taking a knife and cutting epidermis, dermis,
and the
hypodermis. They're cutting fascia. They're cutting into the uterine wall and then taking something out of it. So when this woman has to heal, her uterine lining has to heal.
Yeah.
Inside to out.
Yeah.
The muscles that got cut have to heal. The skin has to heal. So there are several layers of healing that have to happen. So even I dare say vaginal birth is one thing, but C-section, that is your whole core. And what's wrong is every time you stand up, you walk, you move, you're using those abdominal muscles. That's your core. Those are your abs. Those are the things that always have the most
you know what, I'm laughing because
tension.
after 2 weeks after my procedure, when I walk, I was having pain, like serious pain.
Exactly.
I had to talk to Fema is a cardiologist. I was becoming worried, and it was like your muscles.
Yeah.
That's your muscles, like because once I lie down, I'm okay. But once I stand up to walk, I have to I was bent. They were calling me old woman. So that's just to give you an idea of what a C-section does to a woman. Yeah. You know, sorry for cutting you short. Are you?
Oh no, that's fine. I'm
okay. Tom, I want to ask you this sex drive thing. How will affect a woman after childbirth?
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. So basically, it's because of the hormonal imbalances that happens during childbirth, particularly estrogen. Okay. So during pregnancy, you have a surge in estrogen levels with every woman. Okay. But immediately after childbirth, immediately the baby comes out. Yeah. Immediately you have a reduction in that estrogen. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So immediately that happens, then for the estrogen levels to normalize will take a while. Do you get it? I'm happy about what Sister Tommy said, that over there in the US, which is usually the advice as well, even in Nigeria, that post-childbirth, there should be no sex until about 4 to 6 weeks after. Ideally, irrespective of whatever method of childbirth you have had, whether vaginal or cesarean section. That's the usual advice because of those estrogen levels. So it will normalize after a while. Oh yes, it will. But let's not forget, it's not going to be immediate. It's not going to be immediate. Before it normalizes, then you go back through the route of your regular menstrual cycle. During that period, you are having a lower sex drive. So it's hormonal, it's scientific. Do you get it? Then how much less now you're taking care of a mini you or or a mini your husband or a mini your granddad or
you're sleep deprived.
Do you get it? Whoever your baby looks like. So you're taking care of this newborn baby. You are absolutely sleep deprived.
Yes,
Do you get it? You're tired. It's a new thing for you. And with every childbirth, it differs.
It's different,
like there's something they say back here in Nigeria, that in the labor room, there's no customer. You get that? There's no customer that I've been there before now. No, it's a brand new experience. It's a brand new experience each time. And so because of that, you are acclimatizing to all these changes.
There's changes.
And there's several. I've said it. There's several. And yes, you're also taking care of your husband. And you know, that's what we have back home in Africa. In Nigeria, you have a support system. In America, you are paying for the support system. So plus that, you are also thinking of your bills, the finances. Do you get it? So yes, you could get a support system in the US. Nobody's stopping you, but it doesn't come free. Do you get it? In Nigeria, in Africa, you could have your old aunts come from the village and stay with you for 6 months. Yes, you're going to pay through your ass for that where you guys are in America. So there are 1,000,001 things that you're facing. Do you get it? Then you're also not feeling sexy. Let's not deceive ourselves. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Your stomach is bulging. Then you're breastfeeding.
It's flappy.
You're breastfeeding. Do you get it? Yes. So your prolactin levels are high. So there are 1,000,001 things that are happening. That's going to affect your total, your groove. Do you get it? It's going to affect your sexiness. That's it. So please, men should take notes. Thank you. Men should really take notes.
I have to add something to what Sister Tone said. I just love you. Thank you so much for what you said. Because she mentioned estrogen levels. As in, you're amazing. She mentioned estrogen levels. It differs also between women who are lactating, who are breastfeeding, and women who maybe for some reason end up having their babies having like formula instead of breast milk. Now when a woman is lactating and she's breastfeeding her baby, those estrogen levels may stay lower for a prolonged period of time. And this is why they'll often say women who are breastfeeding may have their periods come later. As opposed to sooner. But women who don't breastfeed as much, they start their periods technically sooner than the other women who breastfeed for longer periods of time. But the other thing too is a lot of people will ignorantly say, oh well, she hasn't had her period, so it's even the best time to have sex. You know, she can't have children. No. Just because she doesn't have a period does not necessarily mean she's not ovulating. A woman can still ovulate technically, so she may not see her period, but if she has sex, she can very well get pregnant. We've seen women get pregnant
I've lived with one
2 months, 6 weeks after having their first baby. But you have to understand, all these hormones are changing. So how she's breastfeeding or not breastfeeding, you know, how she's losing weight or not losing weight, you know, there are a lot of women who go through a long labor. They had so many IV fluids, and so after childbirth they actually swell up. I remember after having my daughter, I didn't gain a lot of weight during pregnancy. After pregnancy, I put on 20 pounds. After. I'm like, what the heck is this? Are you kidding me? I didn't gain that much weight when I was pregnant. After I had my baby, then I gained all this weight. And it was just, I was swollen. I had so many fluids in my body. It took a long time for that. So, of course, that's going to affect how you're feeling sexy or how you want to, you know.
You don't want to be touched. And naturally, women, we want to feel sexy for our husbands. And so when we don't feel it, it's not even the husband saying you're just sexy, it's you not feeling it. So you don't want anybody to touch you. So I hope the men folk they're listening to this and they're taking notes. And so you mentioned something about getting pregnant even though you're not ovulating. My next question was actually going to be, how soon can you get pregnant after a baby? Because how soon can you have sex and how soon can you get pregnant again?
Well, anyone can have sex immediately after a baby, because we often think of sex as consensual. There are women who can be raped right after having their children.
That's true.
I have someone in my family who works in labor and delivery, and they have cameras in their hospitals for safety. And I remember they had to call security because the woman's boyfriend, they're not married, the woman's boyfriend, she literally just delivered the child. And 3 hours later, he went into the room, closed the door, and was on top of her. So yeah, mentally, and she was fine with it. She said, well, I don't want him to go sleep with his girlfriend.
Really?
So I'm willing to go through the pain so he can be satisfied. And the nurses were up in arms because they were like, this is ridiculous. And they called security to get him out of there. Now, this is a real life situation. So sex can happen immediately after birth. It doesn't mean it's going to be pleasurable. It doesn't mean she's going to enjoy it. But it can happen. She's doing it out of duty. She might be doing it out of duty. She might be doing it because she's being raped. And she has no one to stand up and advocate for her in that situation. And then, like I said, from my personal experience, I've heard of childbirth as early as 6 weeks. I don't know if it's been sooner than that, but I've heard of childbirth. Not childbirth, in pregnancy, conception. Okay. As early as 6 weeks after childbirth. But Sister Tone, maybe you can give us some more enlightenment on that topic, because I don't know.
Yeah. I totally agree with what you've said. In fact, Sister Tommy cannot be more correct. That's the truth. We had actually discussed this about how soon you can start having sex. Yes, it's personal differences, but usually the advice is at least 4 to 6 weeks after. For some other women, it's much longer. Yeah. Do you understand? For some women, a lot of things have gone wrong. Do you understand? They've had hypertension-induced, pregnancy-induced hypertension, excuse me, and eclampsia. So they have 1,000,001. So apart from all the hormonal issues, there's also a cardiovascular issue that they are managing. Yeah. They even be bedridden for quite a while. So some won't be even thinking about sex until about 4 or 5 months thereafter. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Yeah. That's it. So it really, really differs. Okay, then I think the next question you also asked that how soon you can have another baby? Yeah. Yeah, but in fact, they told me I've scratched it. There is no, I'm sure we all have those friends, or you read about it, about someone who after she had a child was already pregnant. Yeah. About like 6 weeks or so. There's the usual misconception.
I was so angry when I was so angry.
If I'm doing exclusive breastfeeding, which is what double organization, that's their advice. But exclusively breastfeed your baby. Yes. So there's usually the risk of stress. I'm breastfeeding exclusively, and that's actually a contraceptive method. No. It is not a contraceptive method. No. Okay, you could still get pregnant. Yes. Do you get it? You could still get pregnant. Yeah. So how much less if you are not doing exclusive breastfeeding? Maybe the child is already been introduced to formula. That increases your risk of getting pregnant even further. Yes. So you really, really need to be careful, calculative. Yeah. That's just it. You need to immediately you have your baby and it looks as though it's 6 weeks. In fact, what some women do is that once it's for 6 weeks and they're about to start husbands, they usually start a method of contraception. Yeah. It could be all contraceptives. Yeah. It could be an IUD. It could be anything. Or they get an injection. They start off with something.
Yeah. All right, thank you so much. So actually, what I saw online, they actually said 3 weeks. They said 3 weeks after birth, you can get pregnant. It doesn't mean if you're just like you both said that you don't need to see your period to be pregnant. 3 weeks after birth, you try it. Yeah. You can just hook and you will day your day. Okay. So now we're gonna go on a short break once again, and then when we come back, that will be the final session. We'll be back soon. All right, welcome back to the show, guys, and this is actually going to be the final. In fact, I wish we could just go on because it's been very educative and eye-opening to everybody. So I wish we could go on, but like we are on a time. So the final topic I think we need to address before we leave is actually to the women, because we are women and we are more concerned about you. So the thing I think we should address next is, what exactly are you allowed to do after childbirth? Like, what are the things you should be doing after childbirth?
What when you mean that, you mean like physical activities,
everything,
sexual
sexual activities, physical activities. How soon can you go back to work? When do you need to listen to your body? Because women, we don't do that. We get carried away with everything, with the festivity, with the baby, with our husband, with the house and everything, and we don't listen to our body. So what and what do you need to do? What and what do you need to take easy? What and what do you just need to throw yourself at?
Okay, well, first of all, we don't make generalizations. We try not to when it comes to medical situations and, of course, childbirth, because every human body is different. Every woman is different. Everyone's pain threshold is different. So I'm not going to say, oh yeah, go ahead, start vacuuming, start cleaning, start doing all this stuff. Obviously it's different if you just had a vaginal delivery and your muscles, pelvic muscles and bones are still getting back. Be careful. You might have women who are walking and they sprain something because you have to watch yourself. You have to listen to your body. You know what you can tolerate and what you can't tolerate. If you notice after having your baby, there's stuff I was able to do well before, but now it's just accept it, assess it, acknowledge it, and start working with the new normal, because your body is different. Your pre-body and your post-body after having a baby are very different. So watch yourself, accept it, know the changes. I mean, for instance, if you had a C-section, here in the US, they'll also tell you for about 3 weeks, please, no heavy lifting. No heavy lifting, nothing strenuous. If you used to go to the gym and do squats and do sit-ups, they'll say no, none of that. Sometimes they'll give you a pillow to bring home that you have to use if you're gonna cough or laugh. You have to press it down, because there have been women who went home after having a C-section and they were doing something strenuous that involved their abdominal muscles and the sutures ripped open. So every woman has to know what your body tolerance is. Like you said, listen to your body. I can't generalize and say, after 2 weeks and one day you can exactly do that.
You have to cook it. She can't even pound the yam. Part of the post I saw, the guy said, I love pounded yam. She knows I love pounded yam, and it's been 1 month. I've not had pounded yam. Is she the first person that will give birth?
That's ignorance.
Yeah, it is. It is a lot of ignorance going out there. So, in your own opinion, what and what should the woman do?
Okay. I would like to class it into your diet, exercise. So after having your child, like she had also explained, of course, if it's a cesarean section, you need to, nobody knows your body better than you. So you also need to take things easy. You're not lifting heavy objects and all that, okay? Until you feel your body is close enough to back to what it was before you had your baby. Okay, then your diet as well. Of course, you need to watch what you eat as well. Okay, you need to eat right. That's just it. You need to eat more vegetables, more fruits. Less of carbs. I mean, that's it. I mean, let's not forget you're trying to watch your baby as well. Okay, okay, so when you feel you're strong enough, okay, for that as well. And of course, no brainers, no smoking. I know that's quite popular around your society. It's less popular here because if you are caught, they'll say no, open delay. That's what they say. This is not normal. They say this is not normal. But so of course you don't get to see such things in Nigeria. I'm not saying they don't happen.
But it's rare.
But of course they are less. They're less popular than the society that you're in. So that's no brainer, no smoking. Then of course no alcohol as well. You have something that you called is it the infant alcoholic syndrome?
Yeah, fetal alcohol syndrome.
Yeah. Thank you for that. So you don't want your child to go through that. You don't. I mean, like I said, it's also not very popular in our society. But you know, a lot of our women too are getting wild these days as well. So so you're getting a little bit of such stories. Okay, so it's a no-brainer. Okay, no smoking, no drinking. No, what's that thing that they smoke now that is very popular?
Shisha.
Well? You don't do that as well.
Yeah.
Shisha, you don't do all that as well. I mean, we don't need to beg you for that as well. Okay, so once you feel that your body is back to normal, then you slowly integrate things that you know are healthy for you. Okay, so you need some lifestyle modification as well.
All right, thank you so much. Don't let me come to you, Toby.
Yes.
Your final thoughts.
Yeah. Final thoughts. I would say just all of us culturally, we need to have. Yes, you have cultural considerations, but just be wise. Every pregnancy is different. Every woman is different. Every individual case is different. So whenever it comes to addressing pregnancy, childbirth, body changes, body image issues, check with the person individually. Don't make assumptions. Like, one of the biggest assumptions I see is, oh, well, it's a good thing to breastfeed. So, every mother is going to breastfeed. So you come into the as a nurse, because I'm a nurse. So I've had nurses who are not very wise. You might walk into a room and you're like, oh, okay, so you're going to be breastfeeding, right? And they didn't go through the mother's chart to see that, well, this mother had to, not even did she just opt out, maybe she had a boob job. And so
she's gone through cancer.
Or she's
Like
gone through
cancer.
cancer. Maybe she had a mastectomy. And so you don't see under her shirt because she just came in through the emergency room. You haven't done a complete physical. You don't know that she doesn't have breasts because she had cancer and she got a mastectomy. And you just come in there like, oh, so you're going to be breastfeeding, right? You don't make that assumption because you have to check individually. Or you might have women who have cancer of certain parts of their body and they've been told, don't breastfeed. Or maybe they're going through chemo while they're pregnant. And they say, well, don't breastfeed because some of those drugs can actually pass from the breast milk into the child. So we always have to have individual considerations when we're dealing with women. Don't make assumptions. Don't make hasty generalizations. Don't just say, oh, well, this, and this, and that. Ask everybody. Everybody's condition is different. And so those are my thoughts. Is just don't assume. Don't assume anything. Ask, communicate, talk. Spouse, don't assume. Oh, well, my mother started doing this after 4 months. No. It's different with your wife. It might be different with your sister. Just ask. Everybody is different.
Wow, thank you so much, Tommy. Tom, I'm gonna come to you for the same thing. Your final thoughts.
Okay. My final thought. Support. For the kind of society that we're in. We get a lot of that in Nigeria. You get a lot of support, but support is not always. Times is not only offering a physical support as well. It could also be support in your understanding of what the woman is going through. Do you understand? You're also supporting her in that way. Do you understand? You see, I see a lot of generalizations in Nigeria. Money. And they push. They go, look at Mrs. Zina Dide. You don't make such generalizations.
No.
Do you get it? So you also need to, you don't know what people are going through. It's a very, very important thing that Sister Tommy said. Do you get it? Even amongst the medical personnel, you're not allowed to make such assumptions. How much less you that you're non-medical. You just see someone and say that, some people even say,
Yeah.
That is it.
Yeah,
I'm sorry I'm speaking
about that.
in Yoruba, but
It's okay.
I'm Yoruba, I can't help it. So, so they now say, I can't eat. She doesn't want her breast to sag. That's
be
why.
flappy, yeah.
You don't know whether there's an underlying condition why this woman is not breastfeeding.
Yes.
Some babies are not even latching on.
Yeah.
Some babies, some women do not actually, there's nothing coming out of their breasts.
Yes.
They are not nursing.
Yes.
There are women like that. They've taken
lactating.
custard, they've taken pap. They are, God bless you, that's the word I was looking. They are not lactating. They've tried their best, but they are just not lactating. At times, the baby is just not taking the breast milk. I've seen babies like that. They're just not taking the breast milk, and you give them formula and they're good to go.
Yeah.
So please, no generalization. Support in your thought process. Support physically. Women need a lot of support. We're getting there. We're getting better in Nigeria, but we can always get better. That's my parting word.
Thank you all so much. My own final thoughts will be from what I could gather from both of our guests for today is, first, to the men folk, please show us empathy. Please be empathetic. It's not that we don't want to be with you. It's not that we want to be cringy. It's not that we want to snap at you. It's not that we want to get angry unnecessarily. It's just because our body is changing. A lot of things are going around our body. So please, please, and please be empathetic. Show us empathy. And then to the women folk, I'm going to say this to you. You know your body. You are in charge of your body. I actually read a story recently. It was very sad. That woman is dead now, and she left her 3-week-old baby. Why? She had a baby and she went back to doing things the normal way. She thought she was okay. I can relate because I'm like that too. Even 2 weeks after my procedure, I was ready to go back to work. My OBGYN said, no, I'll have to call your work and tell them she cannot come. Because I felt okay. But what I'm finding out is if I do a bit of something, I get tired. Even till this day. So it's like, okay, just take it easy. Listen to your body. When I was done doing something this morning, I felt tired. And what I did, I just went straight to lie down. Even though I didn't sleep, but I just went straight to lie down. So listen to your body. You are in charge of your body. Yes, your husband is your co-partner, okay? But you are still in charge of your body. You know your body better than your husband. So if you are not up to it, don't kill yourself. Don't overstress yourself. Don't overdo things because you don't want him to go outside, because you don't want him to go sleep with someone else, because you don't want to do this. Put yourself first when you just have a baby. I'm not telling you to do it constantly. I'm just saying you're allowed to be selfish once in a while. You just birth a life. You just birth a life. So just think about yourself. You're not feeling good. Don't force yourself to have sex with your husband because you don't want him to go out. I can understand. We all want to keep our husband. We all want to keep our homes. We don't want them to go out. We don't want them to go meet that girl. But your body is not up to it. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying deprive your husband of sex. I'm just saying after having a child, be sensitive to your body. Listen to your body. Respond to your body. The other thing I'm still going to say is the support system that we're all talking about. Surround yourself with people that can support you. People that are ready to help you. If you can get that from your church, invest yourself in your church. If you can get that from work, put yourself in work. Make friends. People that can actually run to your help to help when you need it, because that will help you. It goes a long way. That is my own final thoughts from everything we've talked about today. Support system, get a strong support system. It's easy back home in Nigeria, like Tom said. It's difficult to do here. And what I found out here is the best place you can get that support from is in your church. So if you have to throw yourself in the church, make friends in the church, make friends in the place of work, wherever you can get someone that you can just call on and say, I'm tired, I need help. So, and I hope this helps. We can only do a bit. This is the bit we can do today. And I'm so thankful to my guests. Thank you so much, Tom, for coming on the show today.
Yes,
we appreciate you coming.
The pleasure is mine.
Thank you so much. Thank you for...
I've had fun.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you, Tommy. We appreciate you coming. Thank you for...
Thank you, Sister Tom.
Both of you. So guys,
thank you, Sister Tommy.
That's our show for today, and I hope it helps you because it helped me. I'm sure it helped everybody that listened to it as well. And we'll be coming your way next time with another interesting topic. And like I said, don't forget to follow Glimpse Extra on YouTube. You can actually subscribe. Just click on the button. You can like our page. You can like RealTALK on Instagram. You can like RealTALK on Facebook. We are all over the social media platform. Like us, support us, let us know we are doing something right. Okay? And again, last week I mentioned something about you having questions. If you have any questions from all the past episodes we've had, just send us an email. The email address is realtalk@glimpseextra.com. I'm not promising we'll answer, but we'll do our best to give you an answer. So until next week when we come your way again, when I come your way, my guests will still be coming back another day, but not next week. And I'm sure they will come because I'm sure they have fun today.
Yes.
So until next week when we come your way again, my name is still Odun Episode, and I'm still your sister. I'm still a friend. I'm still someone else's daughter, a lot of people's daughter. And I'm still your fellow woman, Odun Episode, and this is Glimpse Extra. See you next week.